case of Chef, I found a lot of similarities between the world of the movie world and the culinary world, because you're dealing with the creative process. It's people who are invested in the creative process and watching a character dealing with all the struggles that somebody who wants to have an original creative voice but yet has other concerns to take into consideration is something that relates enough to movies that I understood how to tell a personal story about that character. The character that I play is, it's close enough to me that I could fantasize what that reality would be like. He's divorced, I've never been divorced. I have 3 kids, so I'm a father, so I kind of relate on that level. But I think he's a guy that had made different decisions. If I had made different decisions in my life about 10 years ago, I think I would have been closer to him, what he is. But it's close enough that I could play him. It was a way to deal with the food world, which was really interesting to me and very cinematic, and learn about it, and as an actor play that type of role, which I thought was something I could play as me at my age, and something that I think is kind of romantic in a way, and of our time, something that's relevant culturally. People all seem to be interested in it, and I know I love watching food shows, and there's something really fun about watching food movies that are done well. And to be able to take a very universal struggle, like, am I doing something with my life that has value? Am I prioritizing the people and things in my life that I should? And is it too late to change your stripes? And what happens if you make a series of bad decisions and end up really just spinning out and losing who you were and what you thought you had, and how do you regroup, and what could you learn from hitting a form of bottom, and that was something that is interesting, interesting story to tell. The guy goes from being in a very successful restaurant where he's making a lot of money and it's very prestigious but isn't necessarily creatively challenging, to trying something a little closer to his own passions. And I think that I found in the culinary world, a lot of chefs who are in food trucks share that pattern, that they're not making a lot of dough, but they're doing a lot of work, but they're really excited about what they're serving, and then that could flower into the next step. Well, you got Downey, who I've worked with a few times. I got Scarlett. Leguizamo I'd never worked with before, but I'm very familiar with, and he was great to work with. Hoffman was a big deal. He was sort of the last puzzle piece. Dustin Hoffman plays Riva, who's the restaurant owner, and he comes off as very benevolent in the beginning, maybe a little annoying, and it turns out that he's actually a very strong personality with arguably a defensible position. Maybe Carl, the chef, is not justified in being as creatively demanding for freedom, working within the parameters he's being asked to work within. But Carl is not happy with, ultimately kind of discovers that he's not happy working within the confines of what the restaurant demands, and so seeks out to really cook a great meal and impress this critic that's coming, played by Oliver Platt, by the name of Ramsey Michel. And he comes up against his boss, who through not coercion, but through making a spirited argument, convinces Carl not to cook the more ambitious menu that may have gone over better with the critic, and cook the crowd-pleasing menu, and ends up keeping the restaurant owner happy, the customers happy, but ultimately the critic just picks him apart for having made such safe and compromised choices. Hoffman liked the script. He liked it a lot. I met with him. I hadn't even thought that he would want to do it, Reached out, he read it, reacted very. I'd never really talked to him before, sat with him, and he's a guy who's got a very deep knowledge of film and filmmaking, and it was clear pretty quickly that he wasn't just a hired gun on the movies that I've grown to love that he's in, but a creative collaborator. He's one of the biggest stars in the world for a long run there, and still one of the most respected. Sofia Vergara was somebody who I definitely, as I was writing the role, it became clear that that role of the ex-wife was she was the one that I was going to go out to, because I really saw her as that.